All right, let's jump right in and connect some seemingly disconnected dots. Right now, the world is caught in this massive butterfly effect, where a geopolitical flare-up on one side of the globe can literally dictate what happens in a lab on the exact opposite side. In today's explainer, we're going to trace that exact chain of events together.
So how does a crisis in the Strait of Hormuz threaten your medicine cabinet? I know, it sounds kind of out there, right? But stick with me. By the end of this, you're going to see exactly how a blocked waterway cascades right down to your local pharmacy. We aren't just talking abstract global politics here. We're talking about tangible, real-world impacts on the life-saving medicines you and your family rely on.
To unpack all of this, here's our roadmap. We're going to hit 1. The global energy shock. 2. The US and China pivot. 3. The medical supply crisis. 4. Major health breakthroughs. And 5. Society in flux.
Starting right off with Section 1, the global energy shock. Experts are warning that the ongoing closure of the Middle East's most critical choke point isn't just a bad day for shipping. They're literally saying it overshadows the oil shocks of the 1970s and 80s. So yeah, this isn't a minor supply chain hiccup. We are watching a total redefinition of modern global energy flows.
And here's a number to put that into perspective. 20%. That's the exact chunk of the world's oil and natural gas flow that just suddenly stopped. When a fifth of the globe's critical energy supply hits a brick wall, you feel the consequences immediately.
Unsurprisingly, because of that bottleneck, global crude prices are flirting right with that critical $100 a barrel mark. And think about the ripple effect there. What does a $100 barrel of oil do to the trucks delivering groceries to your local store, or the planes shipping urgent supplies? It's basically a massive added cost applied to, well, the whole shebang.
To make matters worse, reports show dozens of oil and gas facilities in Gulf states neighboring Iran have been severely damaged. And the timeline for fixes? We're talking years, not months. So this energy squeeze, it's going to be our reality for a good while.
Now, national security analysts are raising red flags about a really drastic shift: the potential monetization of the strait. Basically, Iran could start slapping toll arrangements on tankers, transforming a historically free international waterway into a monetized, pay-to-play route that would permanently scramble global shipping economics, adding another huge layer of friction to international trade. Which brings us to Section 2, the US and China pivot. This energy shock is forcing the world's two largest superpowers into totally different postures. China, the biggest oil importer out there, is facing a severe test of its export resilience. Losing discounted Iranian oil could actually trigger a 0.5% drop in their GDP, pushing them into a highly defensive stance. Contrast that with the United States. The Council on Foreign Affairs notes America is shifting toward resolute global leadership while navigating what are being called the most dangerous international conditions since World War II.
Let's move on to Section 3, the medical supply crisis. The BMJ is warning that this geopolitical chess game is hitting human health directly. Here's the play-by-play. Step 1. Shipping disruptions restrict the flow of liquefied natural gas. Step 2. India, which is a massive pharmaceutical exporter, relies on that gas, so they suddenly face power shortages for their manufacturing. Step 3. As ships reroute, global air freight costs absolutely spike, directly threatening the supply of complex biologics and vital oncology drugs. It is a straight, kinetic line from a blocked strait to a threatened pharmacy.
And honestly, no global market is totally immune. Look at agriculture. Energy and fertilizer prices surged immediately, but then harvest time futures for corn and soybeans sharply declined after that initial spike. The volatility is just incredible, showing how these massive disruptions ripple all the way down to our food supply.
But let's flip the script for Section 4, major health breakthroughs.
This is where we hit a really wild paradox. At the exact moment our supply chains are fracturing, human innovation is sprinting ahead. Get this, Vanda Pharmaceuticals just scored FDA approval for Bysanti for bipolar I and schizophrenia. Meanwhile, Pfizer and Valneva announced their Lyme disease vaccine candidate hit over 70% efficacy in Phase 3 trials, a huge leap toward the first human Lyme vaccine. Plus, COVID-19 is now deemed endemic, rolling out as a standard add-on to seasonal flu shots. These are absolute miracles of modern science, but they're suddenly reliant on incredibly fragile global shipping routes.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, society in flux.
With all this external pressure, society is actively reevaluating its internal structures. For example, the U.S. is dealing with reports criticizing the vetting processes of the Enduring Welcome program.
That's prompted intense calls for strict denaturalization audits, specifically targeting individuals who violated laws after entry. It's a society trying to tighten its security amidst broader global instability.
We're also seeing coordinated crackdowns on the digital front. Governments worldwide are actively escalating actions against fake news, heavily scrutinizing platforms like WhatsApp to stop ethnic violence and the misleading of voters. It's an aggressive, real-time battle for truth and stability in the digital public square.
And regulatory action is tightening up public health on a societal level too. More countries are now forcing tobacco companies to dedicate over 50% of their packaging entirely to rotating pictorial health warnings to combat smoking rates. Everywhere you look, systems are clamping down.
So I want to leave you with this to chew on. As supply chains fracture, but medical science accelerates, are we entering an era of fragile miracles? The geopolitical systems delivering our cures are under historic threat, absolutely. But the cures themselves, from Biosanti to the new Lyme vaccine, have never been more miraculous. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning how the big global picture connects to your everyday life.